What's going on, true believers? It's Thursday, and you know what that means. Top five Thursdays, and this week I got clutch quarterbacks. Again, if you know the rules is this is my top five, not in no order. It's just the top five that I thought of. That when I think of clutch quarterbacks, I think of what they have done. So, without any further ado, let's start this freaking show, shall we? Or should I say, let's fucking go? Yeah. Yes, welcome to another edition of Top 5 Thursdays. Clutch quarterbacks is this week's episode. And I got a doozy, but as you always know, I must start with dun-dun-dun-dun, honorable mentions. And I always have three honorable mentions. One y'all might not like, but this is mine, and I seen him at work, and I'm gonna go with it. All right, so let's just go with that. First, my first honorable mention, and I'm gonna start something new today. So my first honorable mention, I'm gonna just go with him, and that is Mr. Eli Manning. Yes, he's eligible for the Hall of Fame this year as a recording. He has a 500 record, but those wins was on some clutch situations, especially his second, his first season. He had a clutch win against the Cowboys last season, last game of the season. The next year, he showed that he has that Manning touch, and wink, wink, you know who's in my top five. But also what he did in the two Super Bowls, what he did in the playoff run, certain games that he did during the season, last minute drives. I think he holds the record for the most touchdowns in the fourth quarter in one season. So give him some love, give him some love. The next oh, excuse me. The next I'll mention, which would be actually, I would say a very important part of Eli's career, is in his draft class, Mr. Ben Roethlisberger, as y'all know him as Big Ben. Big Ben showed his tenacity of fourth quarter drives and in some key games. I never gonna forget the game he had against, I think, the Packers, and he threw this touchdown pass with no time on the clock, perfect precision. Big Ben is another one that's had those you not want to leave enough time on the clock for. And yes, he was very clutch. The next person I would think of currently, right now, or he's now in my top five because his career is not over. He's not done yet. But when he's done, he will be in my top five, and that is Mr. Patrick Mahomes. I don't really have to say much. You've seen what he has done so far. And the best example I could give you is the Buffalo Bills. I think it was the divisional round game. They left him 30 seconds. And this man drove the ball to field goal range in 30 seconds. I don't think I have to say more. I don't have to say more. I don't have to say more. Nope. So let's get into this. Let's get into this top five. This top five. I must start it off uh, with possibly who was possibly the greatest quarterback of my childhood, which would be Joe Montana. We don't say Montana, we say Mantana, because this man might not look like the prototype quarterback, but Joe Cool was Joe Cool, you know, uh, especially when it came to those moments. And of course, we could talk about Super Bowl, uh, the drive uh, of every Super Bowl. I think that's probably still talked about to this day. Joe Montana driving on the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. Uh, I think it was like at the 8 yard line, and they just straight up surgery on the defense, which the Cincinnati Bengals was this close to winning that Super Bowl, and Joe just took it from him twice, by the way. But this one is the one that everybody remember. Joe Montana didn't just do it for the 49ers. He did it for the Chiefs too. As a great Monday night game between him and somebody else on this list. Wink, wink. Actually, he's next. And Joe on Monday night showed why he is one of the best uh come from behind quarterbacks in the fourth quarter. Uh I don't know what more I could say about Joe Montana except for in my childhood, he was the man. He was the man. He was fragile, but he was the man. He was the man. So my next my next quarterback, I just told you who it was. I pretty much told you who it was. And I'm just going to just say this man deserves all his flowers, and his name is John Elway. Another person you do not want to keep time on the clock. You don't want to keep 2 minutes. Hell, you don't want to keep a minute on the clock for John Elway. You don't. You don't. You don't. Ask Cleveland. Cleveland to this day is still pissed about that fucking drive. To this day, as I am talking to you, true Cleveland Brown fans, the true Cleveland Brown fans, the original Dog Pound, they are still pissed off at this fool. I'm not making this up. They are still pissed off about this game right here. This man drove them 98 yards for the game tying. Let me put that in perspective. It was not the game winning. It was the game tying to take them to overtime, and then they beat them in overtime. Nobody never talk about that though. They never talk about that. I don't know why, but they never talk about it was a game tying. It tied the game. So, but it still means something because it got them to their first Super Bowl. And the Brown fans are still talking about it to this freaking day that this man did that. But he did this a lot. I kid you not, he did this a lot. And John Elway is one of the best quarterbacks. He did this probably on his last run when they changed the uniforms. Remember when they changed the uniforms and he finally got a running back, but no, he still had the competitiveness. I hope I said that right. To give you those game winning drives. I remember he threw one great pass to rest in peace, Rod Smith, and like a strike. It was not even a Hail Mary. It was like a strike down the field against Washington. John Elway is one of the best. He was one of the when you talk about comeback drives, which fourth quarter comeback drives, he was the master of that. Um, I can remember one he did against the Houston Oilers, which I might be another countdown of blown games, but he did one against Houston Oilers division round for the Broncos go to the AFC Championship game, and he drove them down the pipe. And yeah, that's pretty much I can say about John Elway. One of my top five. Next, and again, some people ain't gonna like this one. If you didn't like my honorable mention of Eli Manning, some of you haters ain't gonna like this one. But terrific Tom Brady, perfected, never give up. Need I say, Super Bowl against Atlanta. I'm sorry, Falcon fans. But yeah, Tom Brady, another one of those. If you go back to the 2007 season, I kid you not, Baltimore had them dead to rights, and this man drove down while the defense had them stuck all game. He drove down and threw a perfect pass to end the game, and the Patriots remain undefeated. Uh, another game in that season, of course, against my New York Giants. This man in the fourth quarter threw a bomb to Randy Moss, and they broke a record at the same time. And oops, wrong one. But they broke a record at the same time, and he did that in the fourth quarter. Playoffs, Tuck Rule. I know that should not count, but it kind of do because it continued that drive in which he got to field goal range uh for Vinatieri. The man was clutch. You did not want Tom Brady to have that ball last. He was clutch. And if you don't believe me, how about this one? Because I messed up, but I'm still gonna show it. How about this one? He didn't just do it as a Patriot. He did it as a fucking Buccaneer. Went to the Buccaneers. Yes, it was for this the pandemic, but they won the Super Bowl when no one thought they was gonna be close. They went on the road. I think all the playoff games was on the road, and the Super Bowl was in their home stadium. Ain't that a coinky dink? But clutch, and he was clutch the next season. I think which was this his last season or the next season? The next season. So he played 3 seasons with the Bucks, I think. So shout out to Tom Brady. Next on this wonderful clutch list I got going, his rival, Peyton Manning. I told you it was gonna be another Manning on here. Of course, it was gonna be Peyton. Of course, I'm gonna put his brother as an honorable mention and not put Peyton on here. Peyton Manning was clutch. Another one that's clutch. Well, not just clutch. He was also a gunslinger. So put that in perspective. Peyton Manning, another person you don't want to give any time to. Go back to another game with him with the Patriots, Sunday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken. Both was undefeated. A clutch pass to Reggie Wayne, and this man did not blink, and he was like an offensive coordinator on the field. So most of the time, the plays you see him doing, it was his call. No disrespect to the offensive coordinator at the time, but if he saw it and he don't like it, he audible, and he'll tell the coordinator like, hey, I ain't like it, so I changed it. And he got away with that shit. It's not a lot of quarterbacks that get away with that shit. Peyton Manning does. If I got any other clutch, again, just like Tom, Peyton is the same way. Peyton did well. He did it first. Let's put it like that. The same thing as a fucking Bronco. The same thing as a fucking Bronco. You could not give him a fourth quarter 2-minute drill. And that's just the way it is. So Peyton Manning is on my list. And last but not least, I am gonna go with Drew Brees. I'm gonna go with Drew Brees, and reason have it is that once he became a Saint with Sean Payton, it was all she wrote. Broncos Super Bowl, and that Super Bowl beating Peyton Manning, got the clutch drive, the clutch touchdown pass to Jeremy Sharkey, took the lead, and thanks to the defense, we didn't have to hear a clutch Peyton Manning story. But Drew had great career. He had some great clutch moments. I'm not gonna forget what he did with my Giants: 7 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns was a game winner. What he did to the Cowboys in the overtime, he threw it to Spiller, and that was a man, 4th quarter overtime. Drew showed his ass, literally. But if you want to go back to history, go back to when he had this uniform on. Did he have some clutch moments here? Yes, he did. When he finally got the playbook and he knew what he's doing, and he know him and LT was the future, he turned that franchise around, and they wanted I think they wanted a division and got a playoff spot. The guy's clutch. He's clutch, and what's more fun about Drew is he's not a tall guy. He's not a tall guy at all, and he's doing this. And he retired. At the time he retired, he was the all-time leader in all the passing statistics until Tom Brady did not want to retire until he broke all the records. And now, but there you go. There you go. And that is my top 5 Thursday. Those are my top 5s. I hope, again, as I always say in every episode, if you don't agree, please put in the comments your top 5 clutch quarterbacks. You could take one out and put somebody in, whatever. It's a safe environment in my comment section. Also, please share, like, and subscribe to the YouTube page. I'm also on TikTok, Mr. Attention Getter, Enforcer H4L. And that's all she wrote for me. I'm your boy Enforcer. Please, please, please enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Again, I'm going to say this one time only. Stay humble in victory. Stay hopeful in defeat. And that's all I got for you. Deuces.